Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Chancellor of SCOS Jammu, Janab Manoj Sinha Sahab, Honorable Minister, Agriculture Production Department, Janab Javeed Sahab, Chief Secretary J&K, Atal Dullu Sahab, Principal Secretary, Agriculture Production Department, Shailendra Kumar Sahab, Vice Chancellor, SCOS Jammu, Professor Tripathi Sahab, Honorable Members of the Legislative Assembly, Vice Chancellors, faculty, distinguished guests, degree and medal recipients, proud parents, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first begin by saying what an absolute pleasure and a delight it was to see so many girls receiving gold medals this morning. In fact, we were remarking on the stage before you came up that there was a time when out of 10, perhaps 1 would have been a girl and 9 would have been boys. But the ratio has totally changed. And in fact, बड़ी मुश्किल से एक लड़के ने हमारी मर्दों की थोड़ी बहुत इज्जत रखी नहीं तो हम मिट ही गए थे. But it's a good thing. It's encouraging. It shows that there is no field in which our sisters, our daughters, the girls are not able to compete and are not able to establish a position for themselves. Gone are the days when it was thought that agriculture and allied services were the exclusive domain of men. Today, men are having to fight for their rightful place, or their place, not by right, but by virtue of hard work in an area that they would have otherwise thought was exclusively theirs. And it is an area that is rich with promise, but it's also an area that is fraught with risks and dangers. The promise is, of course, new technologies, new innovations, new ideas, new government policies, whether they be the holistic agriculture program of the government of Jammu and Kashmir, whether they be the programs of the union government in terms of putting money directly into the bank accounts of farmers, whether it be in terms of insurance cover for failed crops. These are all areas that give this sector an opportunity, but at the same time, it's a sector, it's an area that is fraught with risk. Land holdings are becoming smaller, they're becoming more fractured. Land is becoming more and more a scarce resource. Climate change is a reality that we can't wish away. It's a reality that we have to factor in today. And it's a reality that is having an immediate impact on our crop patterns, on what we can grow, when we can grow it, and how we can grow it. There was a time in Jammu and Kashmir when we wouldn't have thought that we could face water scarcity. There was a time when we thought that पानी तो बहता ही रहेगा, हम जैसे भी इस्तेमाल करें, कभी पानी की किल्लत नहीं होगी. लेकिन इस साल हमने देखा, we saw for ourselves how much of a reality water shortage and drought has become. This has changed the way in which we have to look at water-intensive agriculture practices and see what we can do to modify the way we grow to try and conserve what is increasingly becoming a limited resource. Similarly, areas of, like I said, of fractured land holdings, land now becoming less and less fertile, excessive dependence on chemicals and chemical fertilizers. Increasingly, the world is looking more towards organic crops, crops that don't have an adverse effect on the health of the people who are consuming it, crops that are not littered with things like microplastics that will affect us for years to come. And under those circumstances, to see the progress that SCOS Jammu is making under the able leadership of Professor Tripathi and his team, new innovations, the gene bank that today was inaugurated at the hands of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor is to my mind an investment in our future, an investment where we should not run the risk of losing valuable plant stock because of the changes in climate and the challenges that we face. And therefore, to see so many of you young, bright, enthusiastic, future agriculture professionals, both boys and girls, going out into the world, having received an education, which I hope and believe is the foundation on which you will base the rest of your lives. Some of you will come into government service, some of you will go into the private sector, some of you will perhaps work for yourselves. But in all this, I hope that you will hold true to the ideals that SPOS Jammu has instilled in you, the ideals of hard work, the ideals of looking to the future. And as was rightly pointed out by Professor Tripathi Saab in his opening remarks, I have similar words somewhere in my written address, which I seem to have been sidetracked from completely and not read even one word from, was the idea that I hope in you we will have not just people who will seek jobs, but with people who will create jobs. Because this is an area that is rich with potential. It is by far the most important part of our economy. I know in terms of visibility and in terms of coverage, perhaps tourism is seen as more important. Perhaps industry gets a lot of focused attention from the government. But if you look at the GDP of J&K as a state, as a territory, agriculture and allied services far exceed anything else that contributes to the economy of Jammu and Kashmir. And that in itself tells you how important this sector is to us and how much more focused attention it must receive both from the government as well as from academia. So to those of you who have done research that has been acknowledged today, to those of you who have received patents that have been acknowledged today, to those of you who are professors of practice, who are giving your valuable time to come back here to share your experience with our students, to show them perhaps what is the way forward, I can only thank you, wish you well. To all of you who have received your degrees, your medals today, once again, my heartiest congratulations, best wishes for the future, and my thanks to your parents, because this wouldn't have been possible without their commitment, without their sacrifice, without their hand on your shoulder, and lastly to your faculty. Because at the end of the day, we will build walls, we will build rooms, we will build halls, we will put infrastructure. But even the best rooms and the best classes are no good if we don't have the best people to stand in those classes and impart you an education. So if today's SPOS J has been acknowledged as an A category university, I hope this is the beginning of going forward and receiving further laurels and further progress. I once again congratulate you all, wish you all the very best of luck, and look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.